Today I'm going to show you how to make a Dr. Pepper recipe, and straight up, it's as close to the original formula as you're ever going to get without breaking into the Dr. Pepper vault and stealing their recipe. Now, I've tried this recipe and my kids have tried it, and it's definitely a Dr. Pepper type flavor. And the best part is that it's super easy to make. It really only requires 4 steps. And if you don't believe me, just think back to when Dr. Pepper was invented in 1885. Horses were still the primary mode of transportation, light bulbs had just been invented, and plumbing was still sketchy. So we have all the tools that anybody at home can make. Just need basically a balance, some droppers, and a few bottles, and you are set. Now, if you're wondering why you would want to make this, because yes, obviously if you want a Dr. Pepper, go buy one, they're 50 cents, and it's convenient. But for my purposes and other people, the idea of novelty is important. So I like having novel drink experiences. And I'll give you one example, making a Dr. Tonic. Now, what is a Dr. Tonic? Basically, we're mixing tonic water and Dr. Pepper syrup together. Now, you could say, why don't you just add Dr. Pepper to tonic water? But the problem with that is you're diluting out the tonic and you're diluting out the Dr. Pepper. So basically, you're getting a dilute version of both. With this method, you have the full strength and flavor in the syrup, and you have your full strength of your tonic water. So it creates a unique experience when you're drinking it. Now, it's super easy to make. You just need a glass and a bottle of tonic water. I think this is a 10-ounce glass. We're going to use 1.5 ounces of the syrup, but if you're using a 12-ounce glass, use 2 ounces. You're going to fill this up, leaving enough space for 1.5 to 2 ounces of the syrup. And what we're going to do, let that settle down, and then we're going to measure this. And another 1/2 ounce. And there you have a Dr. Tonic. So the thing about this drink is that if you like gin and tonics, you get that tonic flavor, but without the alcohol. And you also get the Dr. Pepper flavor. So you get a really unique drink combination, which is a unique drinking experience. I personally find it tastes delicious. It's got such a unique combination. But you can do lots of other things with this syrup or the flavor concentrate that I'm going to show you how to make. So for example, you could use this, just like bitters, to make a Dr. Pepper Old Fashioned or a Dr. Pepper Daiquiri or a Dr. Pepper Martini. You make sodas, you can make them stronger or weaker. You can do all sorts of stuff. And obviously this channel has all the information you need to figure that out. But let me show you how to make the Dr. Pepper flavor and then the syrup, because it's going to open up a whole new world of flavors for you. So let me show you how to do that. Welcome to step 1. What we're going to do is make a flavor oil, and it's just combining all the flavor compounds and putting it in a bottle. Nothing complicated about it. All you need is a cheap $20 balance. Will work for this. You know, a vessel, doesn't have to be a beaker, it can just be anything to contain it. And a few of these things, which tend to cost pennies a piece. Now, the original recipe from the book called The New Formulary in 1955 makes 38,000 liters or 10,000 gallons. I have taken the time to create a much more manageable recipe sheet. You can find this over on Patreon. It's $5, helps support the channel, allows me to do things like this and share the information with you. So if you're interested in this, head on over to Patreon, link below. Now, there's nothing complicated about this. If you can make perfume or mix things together in a vessel, you can do this. So you're just going to take all the ingredients according to the sheet and put them in a beaker, then put it in a bottle. So let me show you how to do that. Cue the music. Now that you have all your ingredients in a beaker, put it in a bottle and age it. This is the most important part of this step, is aging this for at least 3 days before we go to step 3. I know people are impatient, but aging allows all the flavors to uniformly distribute, which is what gives it that unique flavor profile. If you use it earlier, you're going to get varied results. And honestly, if you can let it age for 7 to 10 days, that's even better. And these things will last for years. So if you're making a bottle of this and you think that you're going to throw it away, you won't. Just keep aging it. Generally, all the chemicals or compounds in this are quite stable and they will last for a very long time. So don't feel you have to throw this out, or as long as it smells good, you're good to go. Let's move on to step 2. Welcome to step 2. Now this part is where we're going to dilute our flavor oil because this is too concentrated to use. So this one's been aging for a couple weeks. I made a separate one. The recipe does call for putting oil of bitter almond in it. And that's fine. It smells pretty much exactly like benzaldehyde, but it does create a cloudier solution. So if you're using propylene glycol as your solvent, skip the oil of bitter almond. It will work much better in your propylene glycol. Just substitute it with benzaldehyde. And that's what I've done here. It comes out perfectly clear and it does work excellent in both cases. I'm using vodka as my solvent. It works fine. And propylene glycol seems to be stable. I made this yesterday and it's still holding together. So if you're looking for non-alcoholic, like zero alcohol whatsoever, propylene glycol will work on this recipe. Now this is really simple. All we're going to do is weigh out 2.25 grams of our cherry oil, or Dr. Pepper oil, whatever you want to call it. In the original manual, it's called cherry oil, and Dr. Pepper is a cherry flavor. So really simple, just 2.25 grams. Then the only mandatory thing we need is 3 grams of benzaldehyde. And that is the flavoring for your solvent, whichever one you choose. And it's simple. You just take this and you put it into 350 mils, 360 mils of vodka. And it will dissolve. Just give it a shake. And then it's best if you shake this a fair amount or stir it on a stirring plate and then let it age for at least a day before you turn it into a syrup. But you'll see that it's basically completely clear. Even after that, just a little bit of mixing. Those are mostly bubbles. At this point, you can add caramel coloring. You can add the red coloring, which is pretty common in Dr. Pepper. So if I were to take this and put a light behind it, you'll see there is a red tint. So white light, red tint. In the historical recipe, they used a lot of red dye. Now I don't need red dye. It doesn't affect the way I perceive flavors. So I just leave it out. Same with the caramel coloring. In the cherry one, I did put caramel coloring in. It can help with emulsification. But again, it's up to you. If you choose to put the red dye in there, you just buy food grade red dye and you put a lot into this concentrate, or you can dye the actual simple syrup. I recommend putting it in the simple syrup. That way you can control the color. But I don't find the caramel adds much, and I actually kind of like working with these clear flavors. So if you ever wondered why Crystal Pepsi is crystal clear, same idea. The compounds we use are soluble mostly in alcohol, but also in water. So we don't have that issue of having to add emulsifiers and caramel and other stuff to get everything in. But basically, this is my aged one, and this is the one that I just made, and they're pretty much identical. And again, you can do this with the propylene glycol. I've actually added more than I should just to see whether the propylene glycol would hold the cherry oil, and it does. So again, you'd use 350 mils of this. That was just proportional. Propylene glycol does work. So that's basically step 2. Super easy. Just weigh out 2.25 grams of your cherry oil and 3 grams of benzaldehyde, put it in a bottle of vodka with 350 mils of alcohol, and you're done. And if you wanted to use this like you would use bitters or to dash flavoring, you'd probably use 1/2 ml to 1 ml of this per drink. Maybe in a martini you'd use a little less. In a highball you might use a little more. But I'll get into that in a later video. But that's it. So let's move on to step number 3. Welcome to step 3. For this step, you're just going to need a liter of simple syrup, whether it's 1:1, 2:1, 3:2, it doesn't matter. Just go based on your preference for sweetness. So 2:1 for people with a sweet tooth, 1:1 less so. And then you're just going to need 16 grams of the flavor we made in step 2, and that is the starting point. So we're just going to weigh out 16 grams of this. Now once you have your 16 grams, you can just simply add it right into your simple syrup. Throw in a magnetic stir if you have a stirring plate, otherwise just hand shake this. It will actually come together quite easily if you hand shake it. Now once that has mixed and kind of combined, then you add the acid. Acid has this tendency to interfere with the dissolution of the flavors in your simple syrup. So always add the acid at the end. That's just a pro tip for you. And the original recipe calls for about 12 grams per liter of acid in your simple syrup. Now I found that a little bit brighter or more acidic than what normal Dr. Pepper has, so it's quite pleasant. So you could use less, you could use more, all depends on your taste, but 12 is a pleasant acidity, but you're gonna find it brighter than normal Dr. Pepper. So if you're really looking for that Dr. Pepper flavor, cut it in half and then slowly work your way up. But I am going to add 8 grams. Again, you don't have to be super accurate if you're just using this for home use. It really is forgiving. So then what you do is you take your 8 grams of acid, you add it to that, you turn that on, and you stir until it's dissolved. I do recommend stirring this or shaking it for as long as possible, just to get things really well mixed. Again, I'm making a video, so things move a little bit quicker. But you don't need to heat this up. This acid will dissolve in time without a problem. So that is basically step 3. And if you don't find the flavor of Dr. Pepper or the Dr. Pepper type flavor to be strong enough, there is wiggle room. You can add like 25% more of this flavor. So instead of adding 16 grams, you can add 20 grams. Caffeine is a flavor component you will find in Dr. Pepper today. It's more of a modern addition. It adds bitterness, and it's not necessarily used for the energy purposes like energy drinks, because it's used at a level that's more for flavoring, and bitterness does have the benefit of giving some balance to the sweetness and the other characteristics. So if you want to add that, you can. That's it for step 3. And step 4, I'll just show you how to make a drink with this again. But at this point, we've just basically returned to where we started. So if you grab a glass and a bottle of tonic water, you just basically fill this up. I think this is a 12-ounce glass. Leave enough room for your syrup. Now you would use this syrup that you just created, but it's still kind of blending, so I will just take the syrup I made before, grab my jigger, and 2 ounces. Now this method of making a soda is called serving solid. And as long as your soda syrup is clear and you haven't shaken it full of bubbles, you won't get it fizzing over and it will self-mix. As long as your simple syrup's not too thick, that's why I use 3:2. 2:1 can be a little bit thick and it doesn't mix very nicely, but as you can see, carbonation's still intact and it's fully mixed pretty much. And yeah, it just tastes fantastic. It's got that tonic flavor, mild sweetness because I use light tonic. You may find with commercial tonics, sometimes they have too much sugar in them. So that would be a case where you'd reduce your sugar 1:1 and increase the flavor so that you could use less, but still get the full flavor. But all of these formulation tricks you will find on YouTube or on my Patreon account. If you have questions, over on Patreon. I try to answer all of them. If you have a general question that everybody needs to know, post it below. But that's how easy it is to actually make a Dr. Pepper formula. And it was done in effectively real time. Obviously, I'm using the aged stuff because it tastes better. But you could use this stuff. It's going to come out a little bit different every time you use it until you age it. But yeah, this is ready to go if you wanted to do it that way. So don't ever feel making sodas hard or making flavors is hard. You can really do this in just a couple steps. And remember, the vast majority of soda flavors were made in the 1800s, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Moxie's, etc. And they were made without a lot of technology. So this is something everybody can do. So if you enjoy this, feel free to subscribe, check out Patreon, and I'll see you in the next video.